Welcome back, and let's now look at what is making headlines in our local dailies. And we start with Daily Nation. Flashy city pastor on the run over 600 million jobs racket. Pastor James Wajohi of Jesus Culture Ministries easily stands out wherever he goes, but an overseas jobs placement syndicate linked to his farm and church has left a trail of shattered dreams and debilitating debt for hundreds of job seekers. That story, you will find it on page 2 and 3 of the Daily Nation. Another story that is making headlines here is teachers oppose proposal to lower retirement age. NAT has opposed the proposed lowering of the retirement age for public servants to 55 years. The union holds that reducing the retirement age by 5 years would deny the country experienced workers. A new bill is seeking to reduce the retirement age. That story is carried at the back of the Daily Nation, and they're saying the NAT has opposed the proposed lowering of retirement age to 55 years, and the union holds that the reduction of this by 5 years would deny the country the much needed experienced human resource. Read about that story on the back page of the Daily Nation. Another story that is making headlines here is that a doctor's no-show at meeting as state seeks to end strike. A desperate attempt to have doctors call off the ongoing strike flopped last night after they failed to turn up for the crucial meeting called by Head of Public Service Felix Koskei. That story is flashed on page 4. They're saying so near yet so far. Officials, doctors failed to end the impasse. A desperate attempt to have doctors call off the strike flopped last night when they failed to turn up for crucial meeting called by Head of Public Service Felix Koskei. The doctors are saying that there is the decision on whether or not to call off the strike on the National Advisory Council. You'll find that story and read it in detail on page 4 of the Daily Nation. Another story that is making headlines is about families of the fallen soldiers to bury them this week. 2 of the KDF soldiers from Kirinyaga County who perished last week in military helicopter crash will be buried this week. That story is carried on page 8 of the Daily Nation. Sack Linturi. There's a story that is carried on page 6 of the Daily Nation, and it's saying the Senate committee summons CS, that is Linturi, state agencies to shed light on the matter that has caused an uproar, and the senator says it will be proof to Kenyans that the president is serious about war on graft. Read about that story on page 6 of the Daily Nation that is talking about Linturi. Another story that is actually in line with what is with a summit that is happening at Uhuru Gardens. It's called Connect Africa Summit, and here they are saying Ruto says digital access is key to Africa's economic potential. Policymakers from Africa are meeting to deliberate innovative ideas that leverage technology. That story, you will read about it in details on page 5 of the Daily Nation. Beware of floods and landslides. That is according to Weatherman. That story is carried on page 10, especially owing to the rains that are happening right now. The landslides, flooding warnings issued. The Meteorological Department says the heavy rains being experienced in the country are expected to persist, and people living in areas prone to landslides and floods should be on the lookout as the ongoing heavy rains are expected to continue. Read more about that story on page 10 of the Daily Nation. Victor, what's happening on your side?
Talk of the weather. I'm just trying to look at the weather forecast here from the Meteorological Department before we get into other dailies.
Yes.
And the situation looks like this. If I don't get it, Ngwata Francis, veteran here at the broadcast house, kindly,
yes,
don't be hard on me. Senior Ngwata Francis, I'll try. But this is the outlook from the Meteorological Department. Of course, the weatherman says that, first of all, you have to prepare for the long week ahead. It's not so, or let me stand on this side, I think, to give you that one very well. So this is now the weather outlook. 7-day cumulative rainfall forecast valid 23rd today until the end of, probably the end of month. This is now the end of 29th of April. Yeah. That is going to be not so good, of course, giving the outlook on how it's going to be. So the heavy rain is going to be expected in major parts of the city. The entire city, yesterday night it rained as per what they predicted yesterday. And let me just go back somehow to give you that. I'll get back to that shortly. And perhaps this is what they said. Rainfall persisted across most parts of the country from 21st, and this is going to continue for the better part of this week. So the 7-day forecast from the Meteorological Department from the month of April continues, and you have to be very, very, very cautious. This is an update from their Twitter, from their X account, and they're saying that you have to plan your week in advance on what's going to get you there. And you can get more information. Let me just get that rainfall is expected to continue over several parts of the country. This is the information from the Meteorological Department website. The 7-day weather forecast valid 23rd to 29th of April. So that's a whole week. Heavy rainfall. Also, events are likely to occur in some parts of the highland east and west of the Rift Valley, the Lake Victoria Basin, the Rift Valley, the southeastern lowlands, the coast, northwestern and northeastern Kenya. This is how it's going to be. So flooding is also expected in low-lying areas, those in floodplains as well as in urban areas with poor drainage, Nairobi being one of them. And landslides may also occur on steep slopes where soils become saturated. So if you are in such kind of places, you have got this warning from the Meteorological Department. High average daytime maximum temperatures of more than 30 degrees Celsius will also be experienced in most parts of the coast region. All right, northeastern and northwestern Kenya. Average nighttime minimum temperatures will be moderate between 10 degrees Celsius and 20 degrees Celsius. This is what's there. And over much of the highlands, east and west of the Rift Valley and the southeastern lowlands. So if you are in these particular areas, make sure that you take heed and be careful. This is what is it. So that's for 23rd, starting today until the end of, probably the end of the month, the date of 29th of April. So it's going to be more rainy and some extreme temperatures and extreme high rainfalls in this area. So if you are around here, the weatherman said that expects some rainfall to continue over several parts of the country to continue. So that is it, Mike. This is information for the Ministry of Environment and Forestry. This was yesterday. And by the way, as per their forecast, this is exactly what happened. Yeah, this is what exactly what happened. Like, for example, you take a look at what happened in the CBD. This was part of Nairobi. Nairobi, we had some serious rain. It has to click there. Okay, let's come here and get the map. So this was yesterday, the map that was there. And where is Nairobi? Nyeri. Nairobi should be here. So Nairobi experienced last night, as per them, we experienced rain here in the city, sunny intervals, and also in the afternoon there were showers and thunderstorms. But then the temperature was around 71 to, the highest was 71 and the lowest was 26 degrees. That was as was yesterday here in the city. So the surrounding areas, Lake Basin, for example, when you go to the sites of Kericho, that was yesterday again as per their prediction. But now we are expecting to get more of this map layout from the Meteorological Department later in the day. So this is also important for you so that you can plan your week in advance. A couple of our colleagues including Regina,
Yes.
who was seriously affected. Let's come back home and take you through the front page of the People Daily. Okay, so on the front page of the People Daily, the lady here, this is Nyakango, all right? So on the front page of the People Daily, this is what you have, all right? I'm told that we need to take a break, right? Yes, it's 7:30. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. I'll take you through the front page of the People Daily, the Star, and etc., etc. Stay with us. Okay, sawa. Welcome back. Before we do that, let me just give you a quick traffic situation. Now that it's been raining over the parts of the country, so it's also important to tell you what's happening on our roads before you leave the house, or perhaps you've just left the house and watching us online. The traffic on Thika Road, this is what it is. I don't even need to even to guess, unless something happens. So this is how Thika Road looks like at this hour. It's already 7:30, what? Yeah, 34. But the traffic situation on Thika Road starts at around Outer Ring, also Sapo, inakuja to all the way. That side of the highway is not flowing any better. So the entire stretch of Thika Highway coming to around Mudaiga is bumper to bumper. That's where it stops, and then from there it flows. It's now moving Vizuri until you come to around, after that actually it's moving up to Globe Roundabout. But this entire situation on Thika Road is not any better. That's also affecting the traffic on Kiambu Road, extending up to around Directorate of Criminal Investigations, I beg your pardon. So Thika Road, you have to be patient. There is no way out here. Let me talk about Juja Road. Juja Road, actually, if you can, come all the way to use Outer Ring, come to around Dandora and then take Juja Road, well and good if you can make it, and if you have no fuel, that way you'll make it to the CBD pretty fast. That is what we have here. How about the western circuit of the city? The entire stretch all the way from ABC Place coming to Western Roundabout, not so bad today. Moving pretty fine until you get into the CBD via Museum Hill and University Way, alafu umeingia katikati ya CBD. Langata Road looking pretty good, nothing much really. The only problem you can see here, no, as you approach that's around Western Hotel, you approach that roundabout, the T-Mall roundabout, and then now Raila Odinga Road heading towards Daystar University hapo juu. Naona kuna kashida. There's a bit of some traffic, but after that it's moving as you head towards the City Mortuary. After that, nothing much really. As you approach and get towards Valley Road and ultimately CBD. Ngong Road, iko sawa, really, today. So far, so good. Okay. And finally, how about we take a look at what's on Langata Road, the entire stretch all the way from Galleria coming down to Wilson Airport, Eco, Sawa Kabisa. And let's head over and take a look at what's happening in Kisumu City. Kisumu, good morning. That is the map and the traffic layout. Nothing much to report about. All that side of Kibos coming to Kondela roundabout here. Nothing really happening at this particular hour. All the way from Kakamega Road coming to Kondela roundabout and joining the CBD via Kibuye Market, also moving pretty fine. Kisumu, I'll be there very soon. What's good? Kisumu. Okay, so what we have here in Mombasa, watu Mombasa, mko vipi? Again, the main highway from that side, Mombawa Bara, all right? Mombawa Pwani ama Bara, okay, this side, all the way from Miritini, as you can. Mike is laughing at me. Mombawa Bara, okay. So it's not so bad as you come all the way from Mazeras, coming to Mikindani, Changamwe, as you join the Makupa Causeway, as you get into the CBD. Nothing much really until you get to around. This is around, yeah, really. The main highway joining the city is not that bad. Buxton coming to Darajani and then also getting out to the CBD past the new Nyali Bridge, again, not that bad. On that side, traffic iko hapa leo. This is where we are. Lights here, Kengeleni or around this side of Kongoya Market. Hapa ndio kuna konga na shida. But hii ni Marikiti. It's always very busy. Very, very, very busy. All right. So this is where we are as far as the traffic is concerned. And finally, watu wa ferry, mko vipi? And this is it. So the traffic on this side of Likoni is not so good today. I have no idea why. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. It's not that good. So you Be very patient as you wait for the ferry to come from that side, mostly because a majority of people are coming from Likoni crossing to go to the other side of Mombasa Island to go to work. I think that's why the traffic is there. Kama ni kubaya, just go to Mamangina waterfront and have some breather there. All right. So let's come back and take a look at what's on the front page of the People Daily. Very fun. How ward representatives stole millions. How ward reps stole millions. This is according to the Auditor General, the revelation and the report from the Auditor General. Let me just get you that. In what has become a great train, MCAs were paid for trips they didn't attend, while monies allocated to projects had also had no supporting documents. That is from the Office of the Auditor General. You can take a look at that story on page 4. What is happening with Atuoli? Uproar over law on unions. That is Kotu Sekjen Francis Atuoli. And Nazi Gadongo is now raising some red flag on millions of shillings that were allocated to the ward representatives, but allegedly were stolen. We'll get into that shortly. LSK, a new push for Linturi sacking of a fake fertilizer. That's the story on again on the front page. Let me just take a look at that story briefly. We have it here that the Law Society of Kenya, a new push for Linturi, ouster of a fake fertilizer. And now, is it fertilizer or fertilizer? Reminds me what Z is doing.
No, it's a matter of pronunciation.
What do you mean pronunciation? Z and S are very far away from each other.
They are very far away, but in terms of pronunciation, I think fertilizer sounds more convincing than fertilizer. When you say fertilizer, you know matters of accent, and you know what I'm talking about when it comes to accent. So, when you say fertilizer,
so it should be fertilize or fertilize.
Should be fertilize.
To fertilize?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is Z doing in Susan?
So as I said, it's a matter of pronunciation.
Because we have Susan, but there's Z.
Ni venye tu Waswahili walisema raha jipe mwenyewe.
No. We just have to get it right. Because we have got Susan, it's written as Susan. S-U-S-A-N. But Akina Njoki here and Phineas.
They are into Susan.
Susan. So what is Z doing in Susan?
Well,
the same way. This is fertilizer. What is Z doing here? S. On a lighter note, though. Okay. So lawyers lobby leads in another attempt to have agriculture CS take responsibility. The issue of fake fertilizer has also been making headlines over a couple of weeks now, and farmers across the country have been decrying low or substandard fertilizer being distributed to them in their farms. There is something here. Alarm over increasing number of daytime sex workers. Something is not adding up. Members of Parliament, a number of daytime sex workers is growing in the country alarmingly and even spreading across the borders. National Syndemic Disease Control Council has said this is an authority. Members of Parliament also heard that in Nyeri and Nairobi counties, the rising numbers is among married women, all right, who come to town as early as 8 a.m. after they have dropped their children in school. This is what is here.
Wow.
This is what is here, all right. So the National Assembly Committee on Health, led by its chair, NBS MP Robert Pukose, was on a fact-finding mission at the council, the National Cancer Institute, that's NCI, and the Pharmacy and Poisons Board. The MP's mission was to try and understand the challenges and successes in the three institutions. So that was the finding. That is also, all right. Rather sad news here, that 6 died, 7 injured as 2 vehicles collide head-on in Narok County. This is the record of that accident that happened in Narok County. Okay, so this is it. Story and revelation. Sky was the limit for pilot of ill-fated KDF chopper. The parent is now talking, saying that Major Magondu's mother said that her son aspired to be the Chief of Defense Forces one day. That is a mother speaking. So mothers have lots of secrets and history as far as that's concerned. So 4 days after Kenya Defense Forces, a helicopter crashed, claiming the life of Military Chief General Francis Ogola. and 9 others, the family of George Magondu, Kabui, Magondu, the pilot flying the ill-fated Bell, UH-1H Huey 2 helicopter, has spoken about the history and the agony of losing their loved one. So he was a young man. Apparently this guy got an airplane while he was at Moi Forces Academy.
He was a very bright student back in the day.
So according to the mother, this gentleman would, when they were in the barracks and, you know, he would name all the planes by name.
Wow.
All right? He knew them.
So it was in him.
Exactly.
That was in, and that, it also speaks to how ambitious he was when he joined the military.
Since
and
childhood.
the
Since
direction he wanted to take.
Absolutely.
But
so,
yeah,
our prayers and comfort goes to the affected families. By the way, Magondo will be buried on Friday, while Nyawira will be buried on Thursday in Kagio. In Kagio. So we still send our message of condolences to the affected families. Okay. Very fast, and that was on the front page of the People Daily. Jakango, I beg to get into this story on page 4. This is Gadongo, sorry, not Jakango. Gadongo. About the story of the counties, Gadongo flags wanton spending among counties. This is what is here. And Auditor General in a report indicated that fiscal indiscipline, wastage of resources by MCAs in the year 2022-2023 financial year. And she said that the report from the Auditor General, Nancy Gadongo, points at county assemblies for failing to provide supporting travel documents and events attended by to confirm authenticity of the said expenditure. So she's now flagging the county assemblies. I'll get you the figures shortly. But for example, in other counties, in Kajiado, the county assembly made irregular engagements of consultants of legal services amounting to 4.3 million shillings without approval of the county attorney. Number 2, in Kakamega, the county assembly is on the spot over 1 million shillings that was paid as reimbursement of per diem and air tickets, 1 million bob.
Wow.
And my home county, Homa Bay County Assembly has unsupported document travel and subsistence and expenditure of around 832,000 shillings paid to 16 MCs as travel allowances to facilitate carrying out report writing exercise in Kisumu for the Department of Lands, Housing, Physical Planning from October 31st, 2022 to November 2nd, 2022. This is my home county. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you have?
You know,
what do you have?
There's a lot that is happening in terms of money is being misused.
Yeah.
But the question is there a way that this money is recovered? Now it has been flagged. Are there measures to recover that money? What happens after they have been flagged? You know, there's a difference between highlighting and actually going to get that money back.
Yeah.
That is the big question. How is that money even refunded? Those are the things that we need to ask ourselves. There's a story here.
There goes that. Once goods once sold?
Not
I'm talking about goods once sold.
Yeah, they're not.
So whatever you do with that information, yeah. Use it wisely.
There's a story here about Kenya Power wanting to spend 250 million on electric vehicles and charging stations. They are seeking to boost the uptake of electric vehicles across the country. And here they are saying more Kenyans are buying electric cars. The National Transport and Safety Authority registered a record of 2,694 electric vehicles last year, a nearly six-fold increase from 475 electric vehicles registered in the previous year. That story, you'll find it on page 3 of the Daily Nation. Victor, you have the Standard there?
Yes, I do have the Standard on the front page of the Standard newspaper. Cost of living, facts and fiction, that's what's on the front page. Let me take you through that. I don't have the soft copy, I have the hard copy here. Yeah. Cost of living, facts and fiction. Cost of living, facts and fiction, that's what's on the front page of the Standard newspaper. You can grab that copy, and it says that experts say the recent reduction in the cost of power and fuel, as well as the rally of the shilling against the dollar has more to do with market forces than government interventions. So this is what's on the front page of the Standard newspaper. Experts say that the recent reduction in the cost of power and fuel, as well as the rally of the shilling against the dollar, has more to do with market forces than government interventions. That's according to the financial report here on the front page of the Standard newspaper. You can take a look at that. Resign or we charge you. LSK tells Linturi on fertilizer scandal. That is also here. State pledges to strike a deal with doctors today. That should be some good news. White smoke. We are waiting to see the white smoke. That's on the page 2. That is on page 2 as far as that can't concern. Terrorist doctor gets 12 years in jail. Mohammed Abdi Ali, who worked in Migwi County, was found guilty of recruiting people to ISIS and being in possession of articles related to terror activities and planning to carry out a terrorist attack using biological agent in form of anthrax bacteria. Okay, so again, he's been sentenced to 12 years in jail. But on this story, the Deputy President last week said during the wage bill conference that if you have a fixed certificate, you either resign, actually not either, you resign and refund the money. So now there's a case here. Cases show on war on fixed certificates a big battle. This is what it is. Court filings indicate that suspects in fake certificates accusations mount big battle to block attempts to remove them from or vie for political office, a factor the government has contend with in its renewed effort. So it's a big battle as per here, the Standard, and how it's going to work out is a matter of wait and see. The question is, how many people have actually used fake certificates, worked all their years and retired without being noticed? So if you've used, quote unquote, you've retired from public service, what will happen? Will you refund the money? I'm just asking. Doctors skip pressure as state confident of a deal. That is, as far as the doctors' strike and the government intervention is concerned, Head of Public Service Felix Koskei confident of deal, and now contested issues include posting of interns and work conditions is among the key issues that is being contested here. And speaking at the Kenyatta International Convention Center, Head of Public Service, that is Felix Koskei, indicated that all was set and it was now for the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentist Union to ratify the final document. So we are still waiting to see how it's going to be, and saying that there is some white smoke at the end of the day.
Yes.
Mike.
Well, let's quickly look at what is making headlines on the Star newspaper. The first page has the headline that Ogolla, a daughter's heartbroken tribute. KDF Chief Francis Ogolla died in a helicopter crash in Marakwet and was buried on last Sunday. And the story is saying is talking about CDF Ogolla's daughter's heartbreaking tribute to her father. You'll find that story on page 2, 3, and 7 of the Star newspaper. Now, speaking of appropriation or misappropriation of money, there's a story here that is carried on the front page. Actually, it's a tabulation on the front page of the Star newspaper. Stalled projects in 10 counties gobble 12 billion shillings. There's a tabulation here with county, the stalled projects and the amount that they are costing. And just to look at a few of them, Nairobi has stalled projects in Lakisama, Majengo, Mabatini healthcare centers that amount to 1.36 billion. Kiambu, the 285 million. Nakuru County, Treasure, 886 million. There's a lot. You'll find that story on page 4 and page 5 of the Star newspaper. They are saying stalled project worth more than 12 billion in 10 counties has exposed the sorry state of development in devolved unit. A report by the Auditor General Nancy Gadungu has revealed the project have stalled that have stalled have been abandoned, fallen behind schedule, or left idle after completion. Read about that story on page 4 of and page 5 of the Star newspaper. Another story is wage disparities, dejection, unfairness in the civil service. The country's civil service has no uniform pay structures for different cadres of staff that serve Kenyans, despite the cost of paying salaries rising to more than 1.1 trillion in a recent analysis. Huge differences exist between the different skill sets. This is besides additional costs, pensions and gratuities to retirees, which keep on increasing every year. That story is fleshed out in detail on page 6 of the Star newspaper. There's another story here about how inequalities hinder climate change solutions. Gender equality advocates have expressed fury, saying decisions on climate change do not involve women despite their vulnerability. You will read that story on page 2 of the Star newspaper. All right, and another story here that is making headlines. Alarm over forced labor as illegal profits increase yearly. Although the vice is prevalent in Kenya, experts say there is no quantifiable data regarding the forced labor. A number of employers are denying each of the employees close to 226,000 of pay every year as a result of forced labor, which is often underpaid or totally unpaid. You will find that story on page 8 of the Star newspaper. Victor, what is happening across borders?
Absolutely. So let me take you through the front page of the France 24. Yeah. On the front page of France 24 here is UK Parliament approves controversial Rwanda deportation bill. That's across our borders now. Yeah. UK Parliament approves controversial Rwanda deportation bill. This is what is here. And the British Prime Minister, that is Rishi Sunak's latest effort to send some migrants to Rwanda finally won approval from Parliament early Tuesday, hours after he pledged deportation flights would begin in July. So this is what's happening in in Parliament, House of Commons, and that is now the issue of deportation. Very quickly, let me take you what's happening on the front page of the BBC. Top US colleges struggle with widening Gaza protest. Again, not so good here. Gaza, according to them, top US colleges struggle with widening protests, and here we have protests against the war in Gaza have spread from Colombia and Yale to other universities as officials scramble to diffuse a burgeoning protest movement. On Monday night, police moved to break up a protest at New York University and made a number of arrests. So this is what's here, and dozens of students were arrested at Yale early in the day, while Colombia cancelled in-person classes. Similar, quote-unquote, encampments, I beg your pardon, similar encampments have also sprung up in Berkeley, MIT and other colleges across the country. So there's a lot happening here in as far as the issue of Gaza is concerned. That is what you hear. But Mike, before we take a break, I just want to remind people that you can also go to our website. Yes. You can also go to our website and get everything that you need to get. You can log in, get to Google Play or Play Store and download the KBC app. This is the app that you're going to get everything on hand within no time. So Kenyan medic convicted of terrorism sentenced to 12 years in jail. Again, that is a story on the front page here of our website. The gentleman over there, and yes, you can also take a look at that story. More also is this concerned, again, MOH set to launch national AYPSRH social and behavior change. I don't need to understand what that acronym is all about, but here we are. Exactly. Speaking on validation, I need to understand this one pretty fast, but that will also. So, in a nutshell, you can download the app and get everything on your fingertips. And finally, what is X doing? The traffic situation on X, courtesy of Migwi route. Migwi route or Migwi route. Okay, there is a gentleman called Man a God's Son. That is Mutunga Kelvin. Said that Kangundo Road is flooded. That's courtesy of Migwi route. And then Jimmy Mumina, Lake Nairobi, Garden Estate. Yeah, this is what it is. So, according to him, this is Lake Nairobi. Garden Estate. That must be a paper bag. Look at that.
Yeah.
Totally incredible. Totally incredible.
Given estates are almost marooned.
Yeah, totally incredible. Finally, this is what's also here. It's Tuesday morning at Sakaja Johnson at the JKIA Airport BRT gate. Again, that has been G-Flow. That is G-Flow posted on there. Again, it is here. Sakaja Johnson, that is the governor of Nairobi. There's something here. The only way is to get the drainage system up and running and probably improved.
Yes.
I think we need to take a break. We also need to take a flood of some tea, if possible.
Yeah.
Let's swim in some hot tea as we come back. No pun intended, though. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Good morning.